Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday's Activation Lab over in Substack and the Kingdom Lens. Welcome. I'm over here trying to figure out why I'm so dark on my screen, but maybe it's just me. Hi, Albert. How are you? All right. As you're tuning in, drop a hi in the chat so I can welcome you. I'm just trying to, hopefully, it's not too dark on your guys' screen. I'm not quite sure why it's so dark in here. Nothing changed on my end, but we're just going to rock and roll with it because I'm here to add value to you today. So, welcome to the Activation Lab Wednesday on Substack over in the Kingdom Lens. Hello, everyone. So, for those of you that don't know me, I am Kristen Durante. I am a Kingdom business strategist, and I help the Kingdom woman who knows that she's called to the online business space to create, build, and launch a profitable, impactful, and sustainable business by God's design, and using Substack as that trust pathway to her mid and high ticket offers. So I am thrilled to be here. If you are watching live, drop a link in the, or drop a link, I'm sorry, drop a hi in the chat. I'm trying to get my chat over here so I can see you guys. Perfect. Drop a hello in the comment section below to let me know that you are here, and I am going to get started. So welcome. Today we're going to be talking about live selling. It is the only strategy that AI can't fake. So if you have been tuning in for the past couple of days and last week, I started a series called Be a Human First. So you can go check out the previous lives that I did last week, the podcast that I did last week, also the podcast that I did yesterday when I talked about how if you are only emailing your people, emailing is not going to lead to sales in 2026. You may get some trickles in, but it's not going to create that sustainable, predictable revenue that you know that you want in your business by God's design, but also impact is the byproduct of the income that you're creating. So if you're not creating income, you're not creating that much impact with the people that you're called to serve, because transformation happens on the other side of that transaction, right? Behind the paid wall most of the time. That's where we get to do our deep work. We can provide massive value for free, but the deep work, that impact, comes on the other side of that transaction for our people, right? So I am here to help you start to understand the number one growth lever that you get to pull in 2026 that will create consistent and predictable revenue. Hello, Doreen. Hello. I cannot pronounce your name. I'm so sorry. Ochanya. I'm sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly. And Albert, I saw you. And just say hi as you're coming in. I love this to be a two-way interaction street, a two-way street. Although I'm not going to pay attention to the chat too much because I get distracted, but I will save some time at the end for some Q&A. And if you have questions, by all means, drop it in the chat. And if you're watching the replay, drop the questions in the comment section or DM me. I would love to support you. So like I said, I started the Be a Human First series last week. Yesterday, I dropped that podcast of if you're just emailing, you're not going to see consistent sales. Today, I'm going to talk to you about how you can actually start to show up live, because that is the growth lever that you get to pull in 2026 to see consistent revenue. Okay. To see consistent revenue, there's two growth levers: live selling and community. And we're not going to talk about community today. We're going to talk about live selling as something that I call activation events. All right. So thank you so much for being here. Hi, Jody. Yesterday on the podcast, I told you that your email list is ghosting you because they don't believe you're a real person anymore. And some of you may have been like, AI has made everything look like, is that real? I mean, how many of you are questioning sometimes what you see? Is that real or not? I know I do. And when I hear my husband on his phone, sometimes he's like, uh, is that a real video? I can't even tell anymore. AI has made everyone and everything kind of look like we're fake, like a bot, okay? But today I'm going to prove that your audience, they're not dead, right? They're still there. They're actually alive. We just get to activate them and they're waiting for you to lead, right? To step out from behind the shadows and become that kingdom leader that they know that you are, okay? Jody's like, yeah, I always question. My hubby likes the AI. I do not. Some of it is kind of funny. I mean, I have to chuckle, but I did I did a I think maybe I just did a note on this. I should do a full article and even a podcast on it. I feel that especially as kingdom women and leaders in the marketplace and just believers in general, right? That it's doing something to our discernment. Now, I'm digressing here, but it's doing something to our discernment because we're questioning whether is that real or not, right? And for Holy Spirit led women, that's a dangerous thing to start questioning our intuition and the Holy Spirit inside of us, right? So AI is kind of sneaky like that. This isn't, I mean, I have my own thoughts about AI. It simplifies business for sure, but we also have to bring our Holy Spirit wisdom and discernment in 1000%. But yeah, your audience is there. They're just waiting to be activated. Okay. And before I get into the strategy, I want you to drop a number in the chat based on your biggest sales struggle right now. So tell me what it is. Okay. And if you're watching the replay, play along with us because it's fun and I'll support you. But what is your biggest sales struggle right now? So drop a 1 if it's email, like I'm sending them, but no one's buying. Drop a 1. If your biggest struggle right now is content, drop a 2. Like I'm posting, I'm showing up on Substack. Maybe you're even showing up on social media still, but it feels like I'm shouting to the void. Is that anyone here? Drop 2. Drop a 3 if it's those conversations. I don't know what to say without feeling salesy. Is that your biggest struggle, sales struggle right now? Or is it consistency that I'm exhausted, so I just stop and start, and then I start again, and then I stop? So what is your biggest sales struggle right now? Come on, let me know. Is it email you're sending them, no one's buying? Drop a 1. 2, content I'm posting, or maybe it's all of them. Drop all. Hi, Shireen. 2, you're saying content. Yes. So maybe it's all of them. I see a 2, content I'm posting, but feels like I'm shouting to the void. Yeah. 2, content. 3, conversations. 4, consistency. Most of the women I support, it's all of them. Like I'm emailing, no one's buying. I'm posting, it feels like I'm shouting to the void. Conversations, I'm not even having conversations because I'm not activating anyone. And consistency, like I'm starting, I don't even know where I am. Right? So okay, I see 2s. Okay, 2s. Awesome. Well, I want you to notice something here. Every single one of these struggles that I mentioned has the same root cause. Same root cause, right? That you are invisible. It's kind of like you're hiding behind the email, or you're hiding behind the content that you post, or like conversations. I don't know what to say. I don't want to be salesy, so I'm not even going to make an offer, right? So you're hiding behind the email sequence, the scheduled post, because sometimes they feel safe, right? And we don't know what to do after that. But safety doesn't sell in 2026. Trust does. Trust is the new currency of this era. We have now moved into the relationship-based marketing era, okay? We have moved away from mass marketing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to the articles, the trainings that I did, the free training, and then if you're a paid subscriber of the Kingdom Lens, there's a deeper training from last week where we went into the shift of what we're seeing in the online space today. All right, so go back and listen to those. There's a lot of goodness there. And if you don't understand the trust recession we've been through, and now the trust vacuum we're in because there's zero trust, that's why live selling is the growth lever that you get to pull in 2026. Every single time I hosted something that I call an activation event, and no, it's not like a live launch Friday. If you're a subscriber of the Kingdom Lens, I am going to take you through the entire activation method that I use to host these activation events. So if you haven't joined me behind the Kingdom Lens as a paid subscriber, we go deeper. So join us. I'd love to have you on Friday. But I'm going to give you my exact activation method that I used in 2025, specifically after I lost all of my socials. Okay. If you're new to my world, I love collaborations, and I teach my clients how to grow their email list and their authority fast by leveraging Kingdom connections called collaborations, virtual events, summits. Some of you will see me be doing a collaboration, the Kingdom Collab Gala, shortly. And if you're interested in collabing, drop collab in the chat, and I will make sure that you get the link to this collaboration bundle event that I'm hosting specifically for Substack people, my peeps. I am hi, Faith finds us. I love collaborations, and I definitely want to help you grow your Substack. So drop collab in the chat, and I will make sure that you get the link if you want to join us. But where was I going with that? Oh yes, I help my people grow their email list and their audience fast with Kingdom collaborations, and then either launch their beta founding member program after that, or they make an offer after the collab's done. They have an activation event, and I see you, Blessing. I will definitely get you that. I'm going to have to write this down and Doreen, because one thing Substack does not do is it does not save the chat. All right. If for some reason Doreen and Karen, oh, you got the link. If you don't get the link from me, just send me a DM on Substack and let me know that you are interested in the collaboration event that I'm hosting in May. One thing about Substack, they don't save the chat in the lives. Hopefully that'll be changing, because Jody, yes, I see you. Hopefully that'll be changing soon, because there's a lot of us online business owners that are coming into Substack and just leveraging this amazing platform to write and share our deep thought leadership, and just to be here, because social media, Facebook, Instagram, we're not here to entertain people. We're here to actually bring our transformational products and offers to people that want them. So where was I with that? Oh, See, I never stick to my notes. So I lost all of my socials right before my big launch. So my Facebook community, where I was hosting the pre-launch setup and all of that, I lost everything. So I started to host something that I call activation events that you'll learn about today, and you'll learn more about on Friday if you're a paid subscriber to the Kingdom Lens. After I lost everything. And in 2025, it became the biggest revenue year I had to date, starting my business in 2019, hosting these things that I call activation events. So they're not these grand live launches. There's different types of activation events. But every single time I showed up, whether it was for 15 minutes or 60 minutes, I made a sale. There was revenue, or I activated someone so I could have a conversation with them that eventually led to a sale. So that's what I want you to understand: the power of your face in front of the screen. I mean, I would love for us to be in my living room having some coffee, or some sparkling water, a bubbly LaCroix. My little one calls them bubbly LaCroix, in my living room, and we could just have a conversation. This is as good as it gets right now. And what an amazing time to be alive, right? So I want you to know that this growth lever of live selling, something I call activation events, is something that you can harness to have consistent and predictable revenue. I know every time I show up, I am going to make a sale, or I'm going to start a conversation with someone that I can impact and actually help. I mean, what an amazing thing is that? To help the people that you are actually called to serve. Okay. And safety doesn't sell in 2026. Trust does. Trust is the currency, but trust requires presence. It requires you to be present in front of your people, the weight of your presence, right? And it is powerful because you are anointed. You are anointed for your calling and for such a time as this, and your person needs you. Okay. Everyone is telling you to use AI to scale your content or create more content. They're telling you to post 10 times a day. Unfortunately, they're wrong. Those are outdated strategies that don't work when we are in that trust vacuum, when there's zero trust. And what happens when AI makes content easier and simpler to create, what happens? Well, everyone's doing it. It's not the edge anymore, because when something is easy and simple to do, everyone is going to be doing it. So it's not the advantage anymore. And the advantage is you. And it's being a human first. Hence why I started this Be a Human First series last week. It is so important. In 2026, your people, your ideal clients, your buyers need 40 to 60 touch points before they trust you enough to even give you your credit card. Okay. And if all 60 of those touch points are automated emails, even if you didn't use AI to write them and they're actually you in your words, you have not built a relationship. Remember, we are in a relationship-based marketing era. If those emails are the only thing you're using for those touch points, you've basically built a spam folder. Okay. Listen, you don't need 20 nurture emails. You need to activate the right people. I had a client once that said that, well, I have a 30-day email sequence. I'm like, what? No, your level 10 buyer doesn't need to be nurtured. They don't need a 30-day nurture sequence. Your level 10 buyer, and a lot of you aren't speaking to your level 10 buyer. You're not elevating your messaging to speak to your level 10 buyer. The person who knows they have a problem, they're actively looking for a solution. They've already done the things. They're already taking action. They haven't got results yet because they haven't found you in your unique method. You need to figure out how to activate that language to speak to the level 10, not these people down here. Your level 10 doesn't need 10 nurture emails. They're ready to buy. You need to activate them. That's what these activation events are for. AI made content easy, which means content is now a commodity. It's the baseline. It's like having electricity. Everyone has it. So it no longer sets you apart, right? The only differentiator left is presence and you being here right now, looking at them in the eye. And gosh, I wish I could see your beautiful faces and your handsome face if Albert's still on. But it's you, it's your presence. Looking them answer in the eye, answering the questions, harnessing the presence and the frequency of the room so that you can allow Holy Spirit discernment and wisdom inside of you to make a pivot if you need to. That's the only thing a bot can't fake is your humanness. So live selling, these activation events aren't just a tactic, okay? It's the only way in today's age to prove that you're real. If you're sending emails hoping people are going to buy, nurture, sale, nurture, sale, it's not going to work in 2026. You need to get in front of them first. And I have Jennifer, I have Stacy, oh my goodness, Mary, three people that I'm working with right now, one-on-one, and the rest is in the Business by God's Design Advisory, which is where I do the deep work with my clients, because Substack is the vehicle. Your Business by God's Design is the destination. Substack is your marketing hub. It's the trust pathway to your Business by God's Design. And you pull the thread from those people that hardly know you into the paid subscribers and into your mid and high ticket. Okay. But what I'm trying to get at is those that are leveraging and using activation events, they are selling out their offers. Okay. Jennifer just had 3 people join her beta founding member program. Okay, for $597, 3 people. That's a cash injection in her pocket and she's not done yet with her beta founding member launch. Okay. So live selling isn't a tactic. It's a way to prove that you're real. And it's the growth lever that you get to pull in 2026 and beyond in this no trust environment. The only question is are you going to pull the lever? A lot of you aren't going to show up live because you're afraid of what people are going to think of you. And it's okay. I've been there. But that's when you need a community like the Kingdom Lens and the Business by God's Design peeps to be cheering and rooting you on. All right. I want you to see the chain reaction that happens when you stop hiding. This is called the activation domino. Domino 1, that falls. Hi, Petronia. Domino 1, you show up live. One micro topic, one specific hair on fire problem your audience is desperate to solve right now. That thing that your audience woke them up at 2 a.m. this morning. That one urgent bottleneck that is keeping your audience stuck and frustrated today. Do you guys know what that is? One micro topic. That's why it's so important to get in the current operating reality of your ideal client. Because if you don't know what kept them up at 2 a.m. today, if you don't know what that hair on fire problem your audience is desperate to solve now, today, you're not speaking to your level 10 client. So Domino 1, you show up at this activation event live with one micro topic. Okay. Domino 2 that needs to fall. A lurker, someone who has been ghosting you for months, sees themselves in your words and a light bulb goes off. How many of you have had a light bulb go off since we've been on together? Drop a light bulb in the chat here. If you're watching the replay, use the comment section. Let me know. How many of you had a light bulb already go off? Doreen said, okay, I didn't know that. That must have been a light bulb. How many of you had a light bulb go off? Drop a light bulb in the chat. Come on, play with me here. If not, then I need to make sure that I'm changing my content a little bit. So Domino 2, a lurker, someone who's been ghosting you on email for months, sees themselves in your words, a light bulb goes off. Domino 3, they engage. They drop that keyword, that activation keyword in the chat because you gave them a reason to. Kind of like I said here, who's interested in doing that collab with me? And you drop that collab. That's a one-word activation or one-word marketing is what my coach and mentor calls it, right? So they engage. They drop that keyword. That's the third domino. Domino 4, the engagement starts a conversation. So now I get to go to Blessing, Karen, Jody, and say, hey, I know that you are interested in that collaboration event that I'm hosting. Here's the link for it. If you have questions, let me know, right? But that's a collab right now. It's not something I'm trying to sell, but this process is still the same. Kita had a light bulb. Awesome. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. And then, so Domino 4, start that conversation, the sales conversation, but it's starting it with a question that qualifies them. It's not like, hey, I saw you're interested. Here's the link. No, that's not an open-ended question. You need an open-ended question. Domino 5, the conversation leads to a sale. Now, maybe not right away, but the conversation was started. You activated them. They raised their hand. And then they go on your Kingdom Connection Tracker, which is your lead tracker, not your CRM. They're already in your CRM. They go on your spreadsheet, a Kingdom Connection Tracker, where then you start to you go through what I call your Steward at Well Power Hour, and you continue to follow up. Not every day. You're not hounding them, but you're having a conversation with them. You're being a human first. Okay. Most of you are trying to push Domino 5, the conversation that leads to a conversation that leads to a sale. You're trying to push that Domino 5 down right now through just sending those buy now emails. Okay. Most of you are trying to push Domino 5 by sending buy now emails, but you haven't even touched Domino 1, where you show up live with one micro topic that gives them one micro solution and a win that they can take from that day or from that activation event, that live selling event, whether they choose to move through the process with you or not. Some of you haven't even touched domino 1. Domino 5 can't fall before domino 1 does. Okay? You're asking for the marriage before you've even introduced yourself. So let that land. Okay? You show up live, you add massive value, you get through those lurkers that are either just watching you or been kind of reading your emails, but like, I don't even know if this person's is real or not. You get those lurkers to see themselves in your words and the content that you're giving them because you've done a specific micro topic on a hair on fire problem that they have. Okay. Not your 1,100% transformation, the micro problem they have right now today. They engage with you. You drop a keyword, say, if this is something you want to go deeper on, drop a collab, drop activate. They drop it, they DM you, they engage, the engagement starts, and then the conversation leads to a sale. The goal of every activation event is to touch domino 1 consistently. Show up, give them a micro problem and a micro transformation, at least weekly. Weekly or at least bi-weekly, I should say. Consistently. Now, consistently is going to look different for each and every single one of you, but you have seen me on Substack show up weekly, live, consistently since I've been on here at the end of February. I used to do the same thing in my Facebook community that I lost in January of 2025. And every single time I do, it leads to someone having a conversation with me. It leads to a sale. Because every time you show up and host something I call those activation events, these aren't a 3 or 5 day live launch. They're simple, repeatable, because every time you do, the rest of the chain follows. Okay. Now, this is where this live, if you're with me, this becomes an experience for you if you actually do the thing. Okay. So let's touch domino 1 right now. We're going to be doing the 1-word activation. I want you to pick a micro topic. Drop it in the chat if you want. Hi, David. Hi, Jane. Drop it in the chat if you want. Pick a micro topic. What is the hair on fire problem that your ideal client has today? That's something that kept them up at 2 a.m. in the morning. Pick a micro topic, not your signature method. Like, I help Kingdom women build and launch a profitable, impactful business by God's design without compromising your faith, your values, or being a slave to social media. And we put Substack on the front end of that, and it acts as your trust pathway offer to your mid and high ticket. Okay. I'm not teaching all of this thing. I'm teaching you one piece, an activation event that I use in my Business by God's Design framework that lets me show up live and teaches my clients how to pull the live selling growth lever in 2026 that leads to consistent and predictable sales in their business. Because we're in a no trust environment and people need to know that you are a real person. Okay. So domino 1, we're doing the 1-word activation. Pick that micro topic, not your signature full-blown method, not your full framework, just the one thing your audience is struggling right now. Okay. Open a new tab, whether it's Substack, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, where have you been showing up? And I want you to spend a moment or two. I'm going to drop it in the chat here. I want you to take that, and if you need to throw it in ChatGPT, if you use something like that, no judgment. But I'm working on something for a specific result, specifically for who's your target audience, who are tired of what's that main frustration. If that's you, drop the keyword below. I've got a question for you. Or you can say, you don't have to do, I got a question for you, but if you want to use that, then you want to think of what that qualifying question is going to be when you say, I'm going to send you a message. So, for example, and I've used this exact thing, I'm working on something for growing your email list, specifically for Kingdom women in online business, or faith-filled women or Christian women who are tired of being a slave to social media, or who are tired of posting to try to grow their email list. If that's you, drop email below. I have a question for you. Okay? If you have an offer already, and reverse and take that, and pick that, like that micro topic, and reverse engineer to, what could I start to have a conversation with them about? Or maybe you want to host one of these activation events, which you'll be able to do after tomorrow inside the Kingdom Lens, the paid subscription, paid tiers inside the Kingdom Lens Substack by God's Design. We are going to go deeper, and I'm going to give you the actual activation method that you're going to be able to use. So I want you to do that. Procrastination and writing with God. Okay. I'm working on something for, what's this result? Specifically for your ideal client who's tired of this frustration. If that's you, drop keyword. It's as simple as that. Okay. As simple as that. That's an example of how you can use one word activation. Okay. So go do it. The keyword is your activation trigger. It's a human raising their hand in the middle of this trust vacuum saying, I'm here, help me. This is how you activate your people. Okay. And then you bring them into an activation event. When you posted it, type done in the chat, or type done on this replay, because I want to go check it out. Let me know. Send me a DM where it is. Okay, drop done if you did it. We are in the activation lab on Wednesday inside the Kingdom Lens. I need you to activate yourself so you can activate your people. Okay? Like building their authority, procrastinate. Yeah. Whatever you help your person with, activate this person. What you're doing is you're getting them to raise their hand and say, yes, this is me. Yes, I need help with this thing, because you can help them. Right? And here's what's going to happen. I hope you do this thing, because this is so powerful. In the next 10 minutes after you posted, some of you are going to get a notification. And a human on the other side of that screen is going to be dropping that keyword because they have been following you, or they need help with this, and they're wondering what you have available for them. And then you're going to panic, and you're going to think, okay, now what? What do I say? What do I do? How do I lead them to a real sale without sounding like a salesperson or like a desperate bot? And that panic is exactly why you're not making money. You're not activating your people, because you don't have a system. You don't have that complete system. You don't know how to take that one word activation, whether it's something you've posted on social, you posted on Substack, or you activated them in an activation event. You don't know how to take that one activation keyword and turn it into conversations that convert. Okay. This Friday, I'm going behind the paid wall here on Substack to teach the activation framework. It's the framework for building these 15, 20-minute to 60-minute live sessions that turn hand raisers into paid clients. The 48 follow-up system that converts without like the heebie-jeebies, part of that will be in there too on Friday. So if you want that framework, you need to be a paid subscriber of the Kingdom Lens. Okay. You know how to do that. If I need to drop it in the chat, I can do that. If you want to skip that trial and error entirely, and you want the full system, the scripts, the before, during, and after trifecta, and you want a complete 2026 activation calendar built out for you, then I'm going to invite you into something that I am doing in May. Okay. So Friday, I'm going to give you the activation method that I use. But if you want to skip the trial and error, you want the full system built out with scripts and what you're going to do before the activation event, during the activation event, the 48 follow-up formula after the activation event that converts, and you want a complete 2026 activation event calendar built out for you, then I'm going to invite you inside the activation events that sell intensive. I'm going to drop the link in here below. It's in the chat if you are interested. Okay. It's going to be on May 6th, and it's a 3-hour intensive. And we are going to be working through the domino effect that I talked about today. Show up live, one micro topic, a lurker who sees themselves in your words. Domino 3, they engage, they drop that keyword you asked them to drop. Domino 4, the engagement starts a conversation that creates a relationship, not a sequence, not a funnel, a conversation. Listen, we know when we're in a funnel now. Your people know when they're in a funnel, right? They want a real human experience. And it's not to say funnels don't work. The sales page I brought you to, it's a funnel, right? We know that, but I'm showing up live and activating you first, right? Showing up live, activating you first, and then inviting you to take the next step. Okay. And some of you just are now getting to know me. And that next step might be upgrading to the paid tier so you can hear more about the tabletop method and the activation method and how you host activations on Friday, because that's where I'm going to be going deeper with the Kingdom Lens subscribers. And that's a no-brainer $5 a month thing that you can be like, yeah, I want that. Let me go check this out, right? Can I put the link in again? Yes, I can. So for $5 or $57 a year, I mean, that's a drop in the bucket, right? That's not, we couldn't even, like my husband and my kids, we couldn't even go out to eat for that. So that's a no-brainer. Like, yep, I want to learn more about the activation events and that method before maybe you think about coming to the activation event intensive in May. That's fine. See, that's how I'm pulling the thread all the way through Substack, all the way to my mid and high ticket offers. Learn from me. Do what I do. I always tell my clients and people that are here, learn from me, model what I'm doing because it works. Okay. I modeled my coach and mentor. It works. Okay. So that's what we're going to be doing together in the activation events that sell intensive, and what you'll be doing on May 6th, the micro topic formula, the activation method, my Lay, May, Hay playbook, which is light, medium, and heavy activation events, and the Trust Pathway offer creation. Like, okay, I did one of these activation events. What am I going to offer? I don't know what to offer. We will map that out and create that together so you understand. Because a lot of times at these activation events, we're not going to be selling our $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 product. If we're doing a light activation event, and here's a tip, we're going to do a customizable solution for the micro topic that we went deep on for those 30 or 60 minutes. Okay. And then you're also going to get the 48-hour follow-up system that gives you the sequence that helps you convert hand raisers into paid clients without feeling pushy, salesy, or like you're chasing people. Okay. The link's in there. If you are a member, what am I trying to say? If you are a subscriber of the Kingdom Lens, you get $100 off. Okay. You're going to get the $100 off coupon, and the coupon code will be in the Kingdom Lens chat only for paid subscribers, or DM me. You are going to get a coupon code. So the $397 becomes $297. It is a no-brainer to get inside this activation event intensive that is going to give you the growth lever to pull in 2026 that leads to consistent and predictable sales and revenue in your business by God's design. All right, my friends, this intensive is where we build your activation machine, your live selling events together so that you never have to guess what to say or how to sell again. It is simple. And it allows you to build relationships, to add massive value that someone can just take and leave if they want. And it allows you to activate your people. So the ones that are ready, because there's 2 to 3% who are ready all the time in your email list or your DMs, but we have to activate them off your email list into these activation events that allow them to raise their hand again and say, yes, that's me. I want help with this specific thing, that eventually leads them into your mid or high ticket offers. All right. So join us at the activation events that sell. Stop being a ghost, hiding behind emails, because emails are not going to create that massive kingdom wealth that the Lord wants you to create in 2026. All emails are sounding the same. AI is making content and content creation easier. And when something's easier and simpler to do, more people are doing it. The human beings in your audience, the people that you are called to serve, are waiting for you to show up live so they know you're a real person. Activate them so that they can raise their hands and say, yes, I'm ready. Okay. The people in your audience are ready. They're raising their hands ready. You need the system to meet them there. Okay. So if you guys did what I told you to do, if you're watching the replay or if you're still on live with me and you posted that activation, that one word activation, I want you to go check your notifications. Is there a human there waiting for you? I hope there is. I know there will be, especially if you start to activate the people that are already there watching you. You show up, activate them on your email list, activate them in your socials, activate them on Substack. Okay. Your people are waiting for you to add value, to activate them, and actually be a human first and have conversations with them that lead to sales. Okay. Now, are there any questions? Any questions at all? For those of you watching the replay, if you have questions, message me in the chat. For those of you who, I'm going to drop the link to the Activations That Sell event again. Remember, if you are a subscriber of the Kingdom Lens, you're going to get a $100 off coupon. And then you're going to be with me Tuesday, May 6th from 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 1 p.m. You get the training for life. If you can't be there live, you're still going to get that. And you're going to have the step-by-step process to host your own activation events, go through the domino effect that we talked about today. You'll get the micro topic formula, the activation method, my activation playbook, and that trust pathway offer creation, as well as that 48-hour follow-up system. Are there any questions? Hi, Jennifer. Any questions? I'm going to bring this back over here so I can see you. And if not, don't forget to join me Friday. I am going live behind the paid wall here on Substack, inside the Kingdom Lens, Substack by God's Design, for all the subscribers. And I'm going to be teaching you the activation method, which is the framework for building the 1 hour live session. I'm going to give you the 5 steps. Now, I'm not giving you the whole thing. I'm not going to help you build it out. I'm not going to give you everything that you're going to get in the activation intensive. You're going to want to be in the intensive for that. So if you have any questions, let me know. And otherwise, send me a DM. All right. I pray that this blessed you. Bye-bye.